Ain't nothing like an epic film. Ain't nothing. It's a lot of films being shot on cell phones this era. But ain't nothing like an epic film, DB, that tells an amazing story, especially when it's a true story. In the case of this film called Devotion, which is out November 23rd, it's the perfect film for the holidays. I love this film because of the man who stars in it. It's someone I loved his career as I've been watching him work. He's somebody, there's certain individuals, when you see them on the screen, you don't have to worry about it. It's a guarantee that it's quality. Sidney Poitier, round of applause for that. If I saw Sidney on the screen, I'm sitting down and watching. If I see Denzel on the screen, I'm sitting down and watching. If I see Chadwick on the screen, I'm sitting down and watching. If I see this man on the screen, who's our guest today, DB, I'm sitting down and watching it.
Well, we both sat down and watched it last night. We just watched it from different locations. You went downtown at the Regal. I was at a different location a little further downtown last night. And our guest was actually there to do a Q&A after the screening. I go out I left the screening to go get my coat, and I just happened to run into him coming out of the room on his way to the Q&A. So it was so, mind you, I had tears still like rolling down my face from the end of the film, and so I go up to him not expecting to see him come out of this room. So I'm like, oh shit, Jesse, oh wait, that's not your name. Your name's Jonathan. So it was just super like kind of awkward for me anyway, but I didn't get a chance to tell you last night when I saw you because I was just so kind of caught off guard. But I wanted to look you in your face and tell you that you didn't fucking amazing job with this role, dude. I mean, playing Jesse, you didn't even get a chance to meet him, and you could only guess what he was feeling in certain moments in the film, and it was an amazing film. You are going to win an award. If it's not for this, you are going to win Oscars, Golden Globes, everything. I'm just telling you that right now, and I want that on the tape so that when it happens, we can go back and be like, see, DB told you. I'm telling you, you are that good on screen, and I love watching you, whether it's Kang and Loki, whether it's Jesse in this film, whatever the role is, like Sway said. Like, I am drawn to watching you, The Five Bloods, you know what I mean? Like, it is.
Five Bloods, oh my God.
The work you've been doing since we had you on the show last time is amazing, and so I don't want to take up any more time with this intro. I just wanted to give you your flowers while you're here. So please welcome back to the show once again, a citizen of Sway in the Morning, Jonathan Majors, starring as Jesse Brown in Devotion. Wow. November 23rd. Go see it, please, and bring some tissues.
DB, that was so many flowers, man. That was so many flowers, DB. I think I'm ready to go. I think we gotta have it. Yeah, y'all heard it here first. I'll see y'all later.
Yeah, I got nothing for you after that.
Wicked.
But you gotta be. I don't know. I find myself sometimes, Jonathan, when I see myself, like even sitting here with you is surreal for me, right? Oh. You know, growing up in Oakland and facing the adversities I faced and going through the things I went through, and then you arrive in this place and you could be nothing but grateful, you know, for where you are. When I look at your story, it wasn't the easiest story, was it? You know, you faced a lot of adversity.
Yeah.
Growing up, you know, a little juvenile delinquent, were you?
Delinquent, homeless, you know, expelled, suspended, beat up, beat down, you know, broke. Standard procedure in it.
Standard procedure. It feels like it, right?
It does. I mean, when that's all you know, it's all you know. You know, and still, you know, here we are.
Here we are.
You know, glory to God.
Yeah, glory to God. That's a round of applause right there. And that's the irony. Even with this movie, Devotion, which is a story about an elite fighter pilot named Jesse Brown and his wingman, Tom Hudner. Yeah. And my family was a military family.
Mine too. Wicked. Yeah.
Isn't that something? Yeah. So taking on this role, was that part of the allure?
You know, usually I look at a role and I go, oh man, it's about the homies. You know, I think about who it's gonna be for, you know, when they see it. You know, but this was one of those cases where I was like, oh man, Korean War. You know, and this is the second time. First time we met, I was playing a Korean War veteran in Atticus Freeman in Lovecraft. But Jesse is a naval aviator. You know, so my history and knowledge of that war was just set up. You know, with the Army and the Marines and all that, right? So the Navy, something I didn't know. But my grandfather was in the Korean War as well.
Really?
Yeah, and it was deep, man. It was the first time I looked at a script and went, oh, I'm going back now. You know, I'm going to need him to, he would have known, you know, of Jesse. He would have known. If he was around, I'd be like, hey, you know, Papa, you know, what was this Jesse Brown cat like? You know, he'd be like, I mean, he was a celebrity within that world, you know, but for me, it was It was that, it was Papa. I was thinking like, okay, this is for them. This is for him. Telling that story and telling those trials and tribulations that live in us, ancestrally. Yeah.
I read that for you, and we kind of skipped over your childhood, but dealing with all the problems that you faced. Your father wasn't there. I read your father disappeared one day, came back 17 years later, right?
Shit happens, don't it? You know what I mean?
Sorry, kid.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
But perhaps that's the reason for the issues you were facing growing up as a kid. But something changed.
Yeah.
Something changed.
Yeah.
At a crucial point of your life, I heard that acting, became, almost a savior to you.
Bro, but acting is, the art form, straight up. Up and down. There's no doubt about it. It's what kept breath in my body. You know what I mean? Like, it was the thing that, it's funny what's going on right now. Like, my man sent me this thing about Muhammad Ali, and he was talking about purpose. And then I listen to Nipsey all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guy Nipsey always talking about purpose, and it's just now where I go, that's what it was. Acting gave me a purpose to live, not to do anything else, but it gave me a reason to live. And I'm like, okay, cool. And the roles, and then you get somebody like Jesse, and you go, okay, his purpose is to get in the sky. My purpose is to act. It's a hurricane of inspiration. And I don't know what I actually do know what would happen if I hadn't found acting, or if acting hadn't found me.
What would have happened?
My first year at college, I got phone calls from the crib all the time. Hey, your man Kachif. Yeah, what about him? Yeah, he went down. Okay, cool. 2 weeks later, hey, best buddy, yeah, where he at? He gone. Okay, cool. And I was running with them. I was running with those homies.
You can say it. It's all right. It's all right.
I was running with them. Those are my boys. And I just it's so clear. You know what I mean? I think if I'm honest with myself, it's so clear what could have happened with my temperament. I'm walking around probably the most. In Texas, 6 foot, 200 pounds.
Yeah, black man.
I'm going down, B.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's open carry state, kid.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, or what will happen is you begin to not walk in your purpose. You know what I mean? You begin to minimize yourself, and then you begin to engender this hatred, towards yourself, and that's the opposite of what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to be an example for. Myself, my young self. I got a picture of myself. This sounds so
Let me see it. You got
I got a picture of the little homie, right? Let's see if it pops up.
Jonathan Majors is with us right now. Okay. Wherever
Can you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. The kid.
Yeah.
The background.
The background.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think we were expecting a different reaction.
Yeah. Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, that's you? I didn't know who that was. Like, who's the little ugly kid in the picture?
Yeah, that's me. That's my ugly ass. Yeah, that's my ugly ass right there. Yeah.
Wait, let me see again. Hold on.
No, it don't matter. Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man, you look exactly the same. That's
shit. I wish.
No, you weren't ugly. I was just joking.
It's okay. It's all right. You ain't the first one to say that.
No, but
I was bullied growing up. Here we go. Here.
Hey, I gave you flowers, man. I said you were incredible.
You tripping. It's all up. No, but
he was a handsome kid, man. Let's just say that for the record.
Well, whatever it was, I remember that kid who was, trying to rap with his sister and brother to keep him happy in the crib. You know what I mean? Like running around in the country, like trying to find things to make him happy, and knowing how sad he was and how lonesome he felt. You know what I mean? And I went, nah, bro, I got you, man. You know what I mean? Like we've hit a point where it's like the work and the art and the stories like Jesse Brown and the Jesse Brown story. It's a testimony.
Yeah.
You make work like that for folks to go, yeah, we got this. We can do this. Little black boy from Texas look up and saw. Some of those cinemas. The cinema we saw. That's a lot of black power. You know what I mean? That's a lot of humanity. There's a lot of humanity up on that screen. And I think, growing up, I didn't necessarily have that. We didn't necessarily have that. And so it's just a great opportunity and a great time, to be telling stories like that for, the young homies, outside of myself and, inside myself. What
I appreciate about you, too, is you don't, and we're going to talk about Devotion, the movie, and your career. But
you got to prepare emotionally for that.
You really do. But you as a person, because, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy climate in this country. And we got to the point in these positions, especially we're all in positions of power, because we're in position of visibility. you know, anything you say can be held against you. Any action you make, any affiliation you take,
Opinion you share.
opinion you share can be held against you. We've seen what's happened to a lot of folks more recently because of how they believe. But you weren't apprehensive or shy about being a supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement.
No.
Right. Not at all.
No.
You know, and it would never been a question for you, but you were adamant about being a part. Why is that?
People got to know. I mean, it's okay to care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's okay to let people know you care, you know, because the way I see it, it's leadership. I mean, a lot of the shit that happens in this country, in this world, in families, is a lack of leadership. I'm not talking about big dog, and I'm talking about leadership, you know, being an example. And I don't listen to nobody, you know, but, you know, my mama and God, you know what I mean? And that ain't right. You know what I mean? Yeah, hell yeah, I'm a black man. Let's not be crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's not be crazy. And if you need if you need me on the front line, you know, that's where I'm at. You know, I mean, that's where I come from, and that's how I'm built. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. And then you think about the fact, again, the homies, everyone's looking. You know, everyone's watching. You know, to be quiet is complacency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think people need to understand that.
Yeah.
And also, you need to watch your mouth. You know, don't say it unless you mean it, and then stand on it. I mean, that's just that Texas, you know, granddaddy talking. You know what I mean? You said it, boy. Now you got to back it up.
You got to
know?
back
it's
it
on
up.
now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter. I mean, that's a non-starter for me. I mean, that's where you're at.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I want to stand up for anybody who, you know, getting fucked around, but you come for me and mine, and
it's on and popping.
I mean, I got one.
Yeah.
I got one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, my little girl, you got me fucked up. You know, if I'm gonna think I'm just gonna sit
You
down.
got a daughter.
Sit down and just nah. You know, it's on us. You know, I'm looking at all the fellas around. You know, like it's on us.
You
know?
too, Jordan. I know Jordan's white, but it's on him too.
I said brothers. I meant brothers. Like yeah, I meant brother. You know what I mean? You know, it's on. If you are able-bodied, you know, it's on you.
It's
know?
on you.
There's always somebody behind you. You know, and you only here because somebody put you here. You know, believe it or not. That could be your mom. That could be your daddy. It could be your granddaddy. It could be your great granddaddy. You don't know what these motherfuckers were doing back in the day. What kind of hoodoo they was putting on their seed. You know what I mean?
That's true, though. That's true. DB, go ahead.
So when you were talking about it's okay to care, and that made me think about Glenn and his portrayal of Tom in the film, because in the film, Tom, you get the sense that he does care about you, and he wants to understand your pain and like why you are the way you are, and kind of cold and shut off from a lot of your, you know, friends and other military and servicemen and everything. And so I was reading that Glenn had a chance to go to Tom's house and like meet with him and talk with him, and he got to see all the photos that he has of Jesse around his house, and that he still was carrying that pain of not being able to, you know, be there for him the way I guess he wanted to be. Did you and Glenn get a chance to talk about his experience understanding that relationship between them, the actual relationship, in order to help you better portray Jesse?
No, because it's funny. What Glenn did talk about was that he didn't. Tom didn't talk about it much.
Really?
And there was a quietness about him around it. His entire life after the events in Korea were surrounded, you know, by Jesse. You know, his all his honors, you know, his governmental honors, his military honors, were bestowed on him because of the event that happened between he and Jesse. The book, all of that, you know, was around that. So I think there was a room Glenn told me about that essentially was that, you know, not necessarily a shrine, but just like a room that said this is the legacy. You know what I mean? And our objective was, I mean, talking art now, like our objective was to reconstruct that, you know, and go, okay, cool. What does that feel like? What does that look like? You know, and for Jesse, because, you know, because of the given circumstances, we didn't have him to deal with. You know, I didn't have him to chat with. You almost have to do, okay, what is the impact of this individual? You know, and therefore, what was the impact of this friendship? Because ultimately, every friendship doesn't lead to a legacy. You know what I mean? These two men's journey came together, their stories came together, and what came from it was two individual legacies. I mean, here we are 70 years later, plus promoting a film about the heroic humanitarian acts these men have done, you know? So that was our conversation, and kind of breaking it down and saying, okay, what would it take for a man to carry another man's name and legacy. What would that friendship have to look like? What would the impact have to be for that to happen? And we began to do that slowly. You know, you talked about the access. You know that Jesse didn't allow access to a lot of the guys. What was it about Tom that made him special? Therefore, what was it about Glenn Knott's process to say, okay, I'm going to let you in. You know, I'm going to allow access, which is a huge component of the film. You know, this kid's from Mississippi, little black boy from Mississippi that finds his way into the Navy, then makes his way into Navy aviation, and then becomes the best. From the mother Mississippi to the sky, that's access. You know what I mean? That transcends his given circumstances of a, you know, white supremacist South and America that he's living in.
Yeah. At that time, right? At that time, one of the things, and that's what race relations wasn't necessarily the marquee of the film.
No,
not at all, which I appreciated about it. And that was something Jesse wanted to make sure was clear. Jesse Brown, the person you portray, is that, you know, I'm an aviator.
Yep.
I'm not just a aviator who's black. I'm an aviator, right? And another thing that I found interesting about his character, when you see this movie Devotion, and this might be a little spoiler, but I don't think it's going to really spoil it. The Jesse Brown would actually, because of the role he was in, was so elite and rare. A lot of times, you know, he had to have conversations with himself. And one of the most powerful scenes is a scene where you're looking in the mirror and you're repeating back as Jesse Brown all the derogatory, negative things that people have said to you and that you will never, ever be able to do. The way you did that, when I'm looking at that scene, sometimes I wonder if characters transcend back into the person portraying it, back into the character. Wow. So I'm looking at your face and I wonder, what did he go through to be able to pull this moment off? Did you have anything that you identified with in the way he would have that process of?
Oh, my brother. That's an interesting moment because, you know, you get a script, you know, you see the lines, you memorize the lines, you go in there, you do it. In this scenario, the vibration on the day was quite high, and we went in, we did it. I did exactly what was on the page. You know, what we call DLP, Dead Leather Perfect. Boom, that's what's on the page. You got it done. But that was the rehearsal. That's just lining up the camera, and then we went and, you know, say a little lighting adjustment, so maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes of rest, or relaxation is what I call it. And as I was sitting there about to start the scene, essentially a whole slew of language started coming. And I was like, oh no. Because you can't deny it when it comes, you know. JD's not there for me to say, hey man, I'm gonna do it like this, or, you know, just shoot this, just let's run with it. And when we got there, the language that started coming out, the language that's captured in the film, it's not the language that's in the script.
Really?
And it was coming from, yes, Jesse, but also, which I was like, damn, man, he felt that, which is everything to me. Where it goes like, yeah, it did get quite personal, you know, more personal, because usually in a scene it's you and me. The way I'm looking at you, you looking at me. That's what it is. It's quite rare that you're doing a scene literally with yourself, you know. And so you have to say things that you can't lie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't lie. Certain things that don't bother me. That don't bother me. It don't bother me. Oh, you say that? That's gonna get me. You know what I mean? And what needed to happen in that moment was the breaking. We need to see our hero break. Therefore, we could see his superpower, which is this man can actually heal himself. He's figured out how to do that. We, as a culture, you know, certain individuals, marginalized individuals, have learned to do that. You know, and everyone has their own ritual. Everyone has their own mirror scene, and so I had to do that. You know, the flight, and the swimming. Yeah, that's circumstantial. You know, to the world of the play. You know, but some of those boy. You know, I mean, I remember that. You know, what I mean? Like
People called you that when you were growing up?
I watched somebody call my granddaddy that.
Somebody called your granddaddy boy?
Yeah, and my granddaddy was 6'8", about 300 pounds, just in a war veteran. You know what I mean? And I watched him, and I saw, and he was so gentle, you know, and didn't get angry, you know, didn't show it, you know, but I knew, Lord, I knew. You know, and I'm this homie. I'm the little homie.
You the little guy on the
picture.
play. The cute guy on the.
Yeah, stop it.
He's
Yeah,
cute, he's
yeah.
cute now.
You know, looking at my God. You know what I mean? Looking at my I was like, oh wow,
That's
you
your
know,
God.
That's my man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's my protector. That's my tree. You know, and I felt that. You know, and he came through. You know, they all came through. And that's what we got. But it was extremely personal. It was, you know, it's been a long road.
It's been a long road,
It's been a
bro.
long road,
That's what I
dude.
see, man. Yeah, man. You got so many parallels to this Jesse, the character, but even you saying his power was the ability to heal himself. When I look at your story, I feel like that's part of your power too. You feel that way?
Oh man, you gonna get me here. When I say acting or art form, I say art form. You know, entertainment. You know, whatever. You know, I'm just a niche of it. You know, it has to be. You know what I mean? It has to be healing. You know, it can be entertaining, but for me, I just speak for myself because that's what you're asking. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
You know, I look for a role and I go, okay, where am I uncomfortable? You know, where's the hurt? If I can't find the hurt in the script, that means I'm kind of okay with that. It's like I would be acting. You know what I mean? Because when you look at a script, you go, okay, what is the arc of it? What is the arc or what is the healing? I'm going from you said untrustworthy, right? I'm going from an untrustworthy guy to a guy who allows so much access that my legacy can be pushed forward. I know I got a lot of distrust in me. You know what I mean? And at the end of that, I learned devotion at the end of this film. You know,
Wow.
That's how you keep going as an artist. I think that's how I keep going as an artist. Where I go, I got to get something from this. I'm not watching the picture. That's for y'all. You know what I mean? I got to make it. That's a huge privilege. But I've got to get my healing in this. You know, and hopefully in doing so, you know, mirror neurons.
Yeah,
you
there
know,
you go.
You know, you get a little something.
Yeah.
You get a little something.
Yeah.
You know, we walked out, my man.
Yeah.
We walked out the screening. I thought he
was crying on
I thought he hated it. You know, tears in his eyes.
Dude was crying, bro.
Yeah.
We had a whole subject this morning about men who cry because of your film.
Yeah, I was like, I'm
that's
not
real.
leaving because
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
No, he was crying, bro. It's
That's
just we confronted a lot of things we as men, we as black men,
Bro,
that we deal with, and all
Bro.
triggered from this film.
our vulnerability is our superpower.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So much, in fact, that, you know, society is built to make us have shame about it. You know what I mean? And so we don't show it. Therefore, we don't use it. Therefore, we walking around, you know, they say we use a certain fraction of our brains. We only use a certain fraction of our power. You know what I mean? As black men, you know, boy, the second you know it if you got kids. You know it if you've fallen in love.
yeah.
You can do supernatural things with that vulnerability. It is the thing that allows us to fly. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. I mean, point blank, period. I'm not saying you gotta have snot running down your nose every 8 minutes, but shit.
Yeah.
Catch me on the wrong day. I would be crying every 2-4 minutes. You know what? Oh man, it's so beautiful.
I love
man.
a good cry.
You know,
I
it's
love a good cry.
Well, you need it, bro.
You
know,
just,
we all need it.
It's like
you know?
eyeball exfoliation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
get rid of whatever toxins and shit that was on your mind, cry it out, and start a new day.
You ready to go?
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Shit, y'all want a hug, maybe?
Maybe afterwards. Okay, we can hug now. Come and get in here, bro. Big dog.
Come on, man. It's all right. Get in there, DB.
Buddies.
I love you, bro.
Yeah, Jordan. This man is a huge fan of yours. He stopped me, and he doesn't even do this. He doesn't do. What is your title here?
Music coordinator.
Yeah,
Music coordinator. Wicked.
Nowhere near this.
nowhere near this. But he said Jonathan Majors is coming. Oh, I'm a huge fan.
Oh man.
I said, all right, man. Let me know what you think. Do some research. He didn't do research. He prepped a whole, geez, you could do a town hall meeting with you right now. But I invited him here to meet you and allow him the opportunity to ask you a question.
Yeah, I mean that's a very high bar.
That doesn't happen.
Well, I'm just gonna say you already got my vote because you wearing Remy Wolf.
Yep.
I love her.
Oh, see, you cheating.
Yeah,
She cheated. She
I did
cold.
not know this. I swear. I just love the shirt. I love her. She's one of my favorites. That's a conversation for another time.
No doubt.
But I guess we've talked about it a little bit. I think one of the things that stands out to me in your career so far, obviously very early on, and hopefully many more to come. But I think the projects that you've picked, whether it's The Last Black Man in San Francisco, The Harder They Fall, now this, I'm not even going to worry about what's coming next. But I think you've done such an amazing job of not pinning yourself into one category, whether it's switching genres, even style-wise. What is it that you maybe I don't want to say manifest, but is there something that you haven't done yet that is sort of something you'd want to do, something you've always dreamed of?
Wow. I'd say kind of after, I've always been like, oh man, I want to do biopics, but now I've realized, there's a way to do a biopic that's like, wicked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I mean, they're all wicked, but that's more comfortable for me. You know what I mean? And I think just looking at the climate, there's certain fuckeries that are in our culture, that just don't go away. They kind of ebb and flow, but they don't go away. And that's good for an artist because you can go, okay, I'm going after that, And I think a historical character that could really speak to that and whose legacy really speaks to that and really confronts that in a really, it's right there on the top, is our brother Frederick Douglass.
Ooh.
And it's extremely ambitious, you know what I mean? And a lot of his hustle and a lot of his piss and vinegar came when he was a young man, And I think, and also, I mean, you could do the, I mean that's it. You know what I mean? Like if I was gonna make a picture, if I was gonna make one more picture, and that was gonna be it, I would say, give me Frederick Douglass and make that bitch 3 hours long.
Make it 3 hours?
Yeah.
Easily.
You want an X epic? Like.
Yeah. Come on, Spielberg. Come on, Spike. Whoever wants to do that. Because what's happening in our world right now, you realize it's a circle.
Yeah.
The shit just keeps happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
cyclical, right?
Like who historically was saying, nah, B. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like from the jump, and it's like him. So
Frederick Douglass.
You could make the Douglass picture and run it. You run it now, run it 10 years from now, very much like Unc and Spike did with Malcolm X.
Malcolm X, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like boom, boom. I think Brother Douglass is beautiful, and we don't really know much about him. You know what I mean? Not for real. You know what I mean? Shakespeare, sure. Frederick Douglass, if you heard his bars.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he did have bars.
Frederick
Douglass has bars.
He has bars. And he wrote them himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
He didn't have a ghostwriter. Good question, Jordan. Who you think got bars now out of the MCs? Who's your barred up MCs?
I'm gonna look over here.
Yes.
You asking me?
Yeah.
Who the barred up MCs?
Yeah. Who you think I was asking? I know these dudes.
Who got the best bars in the MCU?
Yeah. Who? According to you, according to Jonathan Majors.
Best bars in the MCU.
That's hard.
No,
bro.
not the.
No, MC. Oh, like the homies.
MCs.
Oh, the homies.
Yeah, rappers.
Oh, let's go.
The MCU.
Let's
but
go.
I should have let you go with the MCU.
No, I thought you said MCU.
Go with MCU. I would have said that.
Bars with the MCU.
Dude, that would have been ill.
I thought you said MC. I was like, I'm not answering that question. I want no problems at work. I want no problems at work.
You can't. You get problems.
Yeah. Let's.
Because I hear you mention Nipsey.
Love Nipsey, bro.
Yeah.
He's a prophet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Love Nipsey. Love J. Cole, man.
J. Cole.
Love J. Cole.
I was on.
Love Toby.
Toby and
Texan.
Igwe.
Yeah.
He's Texas. Yeah.
Actually, I'm really fucking with him hard right now. Yeah.
That's your dude.
I like the whole culture of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Like the presentation is incredible. The dancing, the choreography, the color, everything. And it's coming for. It's intentional.
Yeah.
It's purposeful. Right.
And it's
shout
positive.
out to Fat. Yeah.
And it's positive. Yeah, you got your boot thing with you the whole time.
Yeah.
Let's go. You know what I mean? Like that's a nice hustle.
So Toby, I like that. So what we say? We said
well-rounded J. Cole, Toby.
J. Cole. I went back in time and was listening to some of them first J. Cole mixtapes.
Yeah.
Come on.
Because I like him because I'm from Texas, so he ain't far from me.
Yeah, he's still talking. Did you ever sip on lean? Was that ever a thing you did?
Me?
Being from Texas, yeah.
Nah.
You didn't go that far.
he dropped that question so smooth.
Were you listening to Screw?
Yeah, absolutely.
You jamming Screw and sipping lean?
Absolutely.
Coming down?
No, Chop and Screw, that was it. DSR,
Mm-hmm.
You know them?
Yeah, I used to go out there. Come on, man. Don't do that, Jonathan.
Okay, I'm just saying,
Research me.
Yeah.
Go watch, what was the neighborhood, In Houston, what was it? My Block.
My Block.
Go
yeah,
watch
yeah,
My
I was
Block
back
Houston.
in 04, 05, I was out there.
I know disrespect. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's okay.
Let me get up out. Let me get up
It's all
out of
right.
here,
Yeah,
man. It was going so good.
It was, yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I'm.
forgot where you was at.
I forgot the Google Face Chat tweeting, bro. My bad. My bad.
You visited Pimp C in jail, right? During that episode.
Yeah, I did, bro. Damn. Yeah, I was with Pimp C in jail. So
I'm watching that on the plane.
okay.
I'm watching that right. I'm watching that in the car.
You can. You can. You know.
Yeah.
But man, Jonathan, man, it's good to see you. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
DB said it. You're gonna get an award. Not that that's why you do this.
No, but he should be recognized for the work that he does. Like, this dude is exceptional. I'm happy to see somebody who came from a similar background that I did. Growing, being in Duncanville, I was in Louisville. We talked about it, last time, and so it's just, I know what you were talking about like being in Texas and having those challenges that come up through life, and it can happen anywhere. I'm not trying
gas
to
station.
Right. I'm not trying to
I know
down
what you mean. I know what
Texas
you
or
mean.
anything, but just watching somebody go from homelessness and all the challenges you face to being like this incredible new guy coming up in the ranks in Hollywood, and just I want you to win something and be recognized. Whether that's a goal for you or you even care about that stuff, I want you to win something because you deserve it.
I appreciate you, bro.
Hey man, how big is your house now? Going from homeless, a lot of times when you're homeless, people
Right.
try to get the biggest houses.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I've been on the road for 7 years, so I got 6 very nice suitcases, and that's about it.
That's it.
Yeah, and they kind of run around with me from here to there.
You
But,
like living like that, huh?
I think it's an occupational hazard. Now I think I was kind of used to it.
Yeah.
Every 4 months, evicted, we out. All right, let's go. You know what I mean? It works though.
Y'all were evicted every 4 months?
Yeah, my mom ain't gonna like to hear that, but yeah, 4 to 5, yeah. Bro, Cedar Hill, Texas. I didn't live in every single apartment complex in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Every single one. Every single one. We been in there.
I know about the complex life. You can bounce around in there. You know what I mean? You can stay afloat and at least have something over your head to keep you warm. But
What's your knuckle game like? Yo, Jonathan sits with his hands like, thumping, cracking your knuckles. It seems like you still harboring that anger.
got Jesse Brown, like, it's okay. You're around friends.
You gonna punch him? You all right, man. We in New York. You good?
It's right. It's all good.
You on the big screen. Hey, man, give a big round of applause, man. Jonathan Majors. And here's the thing. Out of all the excellent work you've been doing, bro, this is, to me, you in the first quarter.
Thank you for saying that.
You know what I mean?
Thank you for saying that.
You're in the first. Everything you do before that is like preseason, is like boot camp, is like training camp.
Yes, sir.
You're just in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And the way you're doing it is what he was saying, what Jordan was saying.
Yes, sir.
The way you've been navigating your career feels purposeful.
Yes, sir.
So that's why when I see you on screen, I go, oh, okay. I know this is going to be a good one.
Wicked, man. Wow.
I know that because I know what you choose. When I see Denzel Denzel, I don't have to know what the movie is about.
Instant download, isn't it?
It's a download.
Instant, like J. Cole.
It's
Instant
the download.
Yeah,
I
I
see
gotta
J.
get that.
Cole. I'm gonna listen to J. Cole.
Yeah.
Eventually,
I like J. Cole.
I love J. Cole.
Okay, wicked.
No.
I was like, damn, B.
No.
I was like, whoa.
You know what it is? Is I've been in it so long that a lot of times when he first came out, he was doing the mixtapes. And he had a lot of he had a lot of attention from the right people. Like a lot of folks I worked with at that time at MTV News. We were hip hop
You was in
fanatics.
MTV News?
Yeah, I did MTV.
I'm
News.
chilling. I'm tripping now. I'm fucking with you now, bro. I'm fucking with you now.
yo, he fucking walked right into that. He was like,
Touche.
yeah, brother, I was
Give it up for Jonathan Majors, man. Just give it up for Jonathan Majors, man.
yeah, a little something back in there.
God damn. I like that, man. But anyway, man, I love J. Cole. And I think J. Cole will be one of those artists, how we see Coldplay or how we see Aerosmith or the Rolling Stones performing as long as they want to.
Radiohead.
A Radiohead. Okay, there you go. You might be a Chili Pepper fan. Are you?
Yeah. I like
Red
it.
Hot Chili
I like
Pepper?
it. I like
Okay. You'll be able to do this for a lifetime.
God willing, man.
Oh, I already see it, man. Jonathan Majors. Give that man a big round of applause. We're coming back. We're going to have some sports and Celebrity Wire.
Yes, we do.
Jonathan, you want to say anything in closing?
God bless y'all.
God bless you, man.
Yeah.
Devotion. Make sure you see the movie November 23rd. See it twice. Sway in the Morning, Shade 4 or 5.